Hey everyone, welcome to Tater Mountain. Today I'm going to attempt to make homemade butter. Never done this. I usually buy butter from the store already made, so I'm trying to find ways of what I could produce myself. Usually a pat of butter. Let me get an example. I usually buy it already pre-made in a box that comes with 4 sticks, and that usually costs almost $6. The reason why I started using just regular butter is most of us grew up on stuff like this right here, that come in a stick already pre-made, was cheap to buy, but the thing is, it is vegetable oil blend, soybean, palm kernel oil, water, salt, diglycerides, soy lectin and whey, phosphoric acid, natural flavor, beta-carotene, potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate to preserve freshness. What do those do to your body? Well, I was looking up. Hydrogenated oils is basically what this is. Vegetable oil that they infuse with hydrogen atoms and some nickel, which is a metal, to form a solid. You look on the back of this, it says 0 trans fat, polysaturated and monosaturated fats is in it, cholesterol 0, but that's a big lie. This one, on the other hand, has nothing but cream, milk, and natural flavoring. Isn't that what milk is supposed to be? Not some oil that, I mean, you might as well just get your vegetable oil and turn it up. That would just be gross. So, what I have done is I have went and bought some heavy whipping cream, which sometimes you can find it on sale. If you have access to natural cow's milk or natural goat's milk, that is great to use by all means. That saves you even more money. And it's a whole lot better. Butter should only be cream, and then if you want it salted. So the process that I'm going to do today is I'm going to put it in my food processor here. I'm going to turn you so you can see. Jeff bought me one for Christmas. I've been wanting one for a long time, but I never could find one on a good deal. So he happened to find one yesterday for me, and we're going to try it out for the first time today. And I thought no better way than to do it by making some homemade butter. So let me see if I can figure out how to open this thing up. I'll plug it up. Now, all that I've seen, I've watched a few videos of people doing some. They use this blade, so we're going to try it and see what it does. I'll give this a little shake. This is a little frozen a little bit. It's not bad. It's just a little frozen from where I had it in my refrigerator. From my understanding, if you're using natural cow's milk or natural goat's milk, same process applies. You just put it in here, and just like you would this. Or you can scrape off the cream. I'll add just a little more, because this is my first time doing it. I don't know how much it's going to take. This one wasn't actually full. It was probably about right there. So I'm going to add just enough to make this a whole. Yep, that's about right. This is a quart that I got. This costed, I think it was less than $5 to get. Which actually costs less than the pre-made butter. Alright, let's see if I can get this lid back on. As you can see, I have not used a food processor a lot. So I can't even get the lid back on. Hey, we got it. All right. So from my understanding, what you do is you just let this run. This one doesn't really have any kind of speed settings, but I'm just going to put it on the blade and let her run. Now, as you can see, we're kind of getting to the whipping cream stage of this. It's getting thicker, starting to separate, but we got to keep going. Now, as it starts to process, you'll see that it starts to make clumps. This is past the Cool Whip stage, and you're starting to see the buttermilk, which you need to save, is starting to come down to the bottom. All right, y'all. I think we are to the consistency that we need. I'll scrape my lid off here. All right, so what I have here in a bowl, and I'm going to turn you so you can see, is I got a piece of cheesecloth in a little strainer, and I'm going to take the solids, which is the butter, out of here and put it into here. Don't worry about the liquid, because the liquid is your buttermilk and it'll come out in this bowl. I might need to scrape our like I said, this is the first time I've did this, so hopefully it'll turn out right. Set that to the side. Now here we're just going to strain our butter through the cheesecloth and the strainer. Now you want to save the buttermilk, which is the liquids that you're pouring off of this, so that you can make biscuits or pancakes or even bread with it. You're looking for the solids for your butter. Spoon there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather this up. If you hadn't already, wash your hands before you do this, because I do this farm old school style. I use my hands. Some people use gloves. You're just going to gather it up, pinch it up. Push some solids together. You're going to squeeze out the buttermilk. I'm going to put it back over into this because I'm going to do a little at a time now. And because your hands are heating up, we're going to immediately put these little balls into some ice water. I'm going to try to get as much of that buttermilk out as possible. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell really on the camera, but it actually changed color. The milk going in was a real creamy white, and this has actually come out looking like an off-white, like butter is supposed to look. I know growing up, my mom never did this process. They just kind of got whatever butter was the cheapest. But somewhere along the line, butter became not butter. You're going to get some little pieces in here. Stick them to that. Then you take your buttermilk, just pour it into something. I'm gonna wash my hands right quick. Now what I'm using is a mason jar, a clean mason jar, and I've labeled the lid buttermilk and I put the date on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into my mason jar. Put the lid back on it. And we can pop that in the refrigerator here in a little bit for our biscuits. And here what you wanted, you want your butter to kind of solid up a little bit. See how firmer it got? Where your hands are warm, this is why we're having to put it into the ice water so they get good and cold. I'm going to unplug my food processor. I'm going to set it to the side. Get me a couple of paper towels here. Now what I got is I've got just regular wax paper that you can buy at the dollar store for $1 a roll. Find my scissors. And just tear you off a little sheet big enough for you a pat of butter. I'm not really sure how big I'm going to need these. What you're going to do is you're going to take one of your little balls of butter here. Make sure you squeeze out all the excess water. I'm just going to kind of dry it off a little bit. I'm going to put it on my wax paper. I'll try to make something that resembles a stick of butter. That looks about like a stick of butter. I'm just going to take this, I'm going to roll it over. Just kind of make it look like a stick of butter. Make sure you don't have no paper in it. I'm going to put mine in the freezer, so make sure that it's good and wrapped. And I got me a piece of tape here. And I have a label that says butter. And you're just going to stick that on there. Wrap it around. Now this is unsalted butter, this one is. And you can just take the ends and twist them. Take you another little piece of tape if you want to. Kind of wrap it. If it'll stick, it might not stick. Like I said, this is the first time I've did this, so I am learning what to do and what not to do. What works and what doesn't. But that right there should still work. And there you have your unsalted stick of butter. Now, we're going to make one that is salted. Dry it off a little bit. I'll hold it in my hand like that right there. And if you've got, bulk salt, or if you've got a salt shaker, you just take it and salt it all over it, ever how much you want in there. What I'm using is pink Himalayan salt, which is made out of Colorado, or comes out of Colorado. Now you just take your ball, kind of form your stick. You're going to do the same process. Once you get the paper on it, you can kind of form it. Or you can buy them fancy molds, whatever. If you're trying to save money, that might not be economical. I'm going to get me another piece of tape here. And we're just going to wrap it around. Cut off a little of the excess end here. Now we just twist it. And there. You have salted and unsalted butter. Probably saved, I would say, at least a couple of bucks, maybe $3. But the benefit to it is you know exactly how this was made, who made it, where it's been, whose hands has been in it, and you know that it's just heavy cream. Doesn't have all that hydrogenated anything, extra hydrogen atoms or any kind of preservatives put in it. It's not made out of oil. It's made out of heavy cream, which you know is better for you than other stuff. Like I said, if you want oil, just get you a can of oil, take the lid off, and turn it up. That's what the fake butter is. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, share, subscribe. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, that would be in the subscription or in the description of this video. Alright, thank y'all. Have a good night. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.